Service continuity is all about maintaining business as usual, and that means avoiding and preventing any major catastrophic failures that might impinge on the business and stop the business from functioning and even damage its reputation. So day to day you'll have incidents and outages, service outages. You might even have major incidents where a platform will have a failure of some sort. But service continuity is really addressing the major infrastructure issues that's going to interrupt the business for a longer period and as I say, cause significant reputational damage potentially. So in terms of the major causes of that, I think you have to really start with the infrastructure. So when you talk about power, you talk about air conditioning, you talk about potential for fire risk, you talk about potential for flooding. All these areas are potentially going to give you a problem with business continuity. So it's investment in the building and the facility and the teleport is the most important thing to start with. So that means investing in good electrical infrastructure that has no single points of failure. It means investing in the right the right fire protection systems. It means investing in the potentially water leakage detection, having all your infrastructure as much as possible with no single point of failure. So it's very hard to have a facility with no single point of failure, and it can cost more money. It can cost a lot more money. So there's a limit to how much you can invest in your infrastructure, and sometimes there inevitably will be single points of failure. But they aren't actually the main cause, usually, of service continuity events or business disruption. The main cause is usually some kind of double failure, where you get a failure in one system and then a failure in a second system, causing unpredictable consequences where you lose a large number of services. There's a lot that can be done. As I mentioned, you can invest in your facility and put the right systems in place. But there is a limit to how much you can prevent a business continuity event, a business disruption event from occurring. So it really often comes down to process, having the right housekeeping measures in place, and making sure that all systems are as up to date as possible. Firmware updates are in place. Maintenance has been done recently, all the checks are in place, an air conditioning unit is not about to fail, a generator will start up when it's required to start up. And these areas are, that is really how you prevent that's how you lower the risk of having severe impact from a business continuity event. So for me, having put everything in place to try and prevent, you then move to, well, what are we going to do to recover from a business continuity event? And a lot of that is in the planning for what you would do in the event of a crisis. So setting up the right plans for what to do in the event of an extended power outage, or even a fire in an area of a facility, or some water ingress, or more serious flooding, or a network security breach, or people not being able to access the facility, which actually can cause huge problems. And what to do in the event that these things occur? You have a plan, you make sure everybody understands what the plan is. In fact, you get the teams to contribute to creating the plan. And then, of course, a lot of facilities that I visit have these plans, but they perhaps haven't tested them out and rehearsed them. So that's if you like, the final stage for me is rehearsing. And I say practice, practice, practice to get it right. Yeah. No plan will survive contact with the enemy, as they say, but you can have a plan that everybody knows their role and their responsibility, and they can get on and do whatever they need to do to recover the facility, communicate with customers, get suppliers on side. So rehearsing, a lot of people say, well, I haven't got time to rehearse. But I do know one company who, during the Olympics in 2012, where they had a 50-minute rehearsal every day. So they just created a scenario, and the management team, the senior management team, would run through what they would do. And that didn't take a lot of time, but what it had the advantage of doing was to remind everybody what they would do in the event of a particular crisis, whatever that was, whether it was a fiber going down or a network infringement or anything like that. And I think that it's that recurring short sprints of practices with the teams that are going to recover the facility that really make a huge, huge difference, because it's only by practicing do you really understand what you would do in the event of a crisis. So I think that gives you the biggest bang for the buck.